Alright guys, day 2 of graphing exponential functions. Number 1 and number 2 here on our notes are the same ones that we did yesterday. Okay, so a real quick review. This is going to be the h value, this is the k value, so we went left 4 units and we went down 8 units. Okay, this is the base 2, right? So that's my parent function for an exponential growth. So we went down 8 units, so my new horizontal asymptote is going to be at y equals -8. Went left 4 units, so this is quote-unquote my origin. Now from there, if my a value, which in this case is 1, we have a point right here that's 1 unit away. My y-intercept is, if I plug in 0 here, I've got 2 raised to the 4th, which is 16. 16 minus 8 is 8, so my y-intercept is at 0, 8. So the function looks something like this. Number 2 is an exponential decay because my base is less than 1. Okay, so we went right 1 unit in this case, and we went up 6. So my new horizontal asymptote is going to be at +6. Went right 1 unit, so this is my new origin. Okay, now it's a decay function, so we're going to be going down. Okay, decay is decreasing across your x values. Alright, so I plug in 0 here, I get 2 plus 6 is going to be my y-intercept at 8, right? So it looks something like this. Bam, there it is. All right, let's look at some new problems for today. Number 3, I have a -3 as my a value. Okay, so this is going to be a reflection across the horizontal asymptote. We have a vertical stretch by 3. We have no h value, so it's still at 0, but we went up 8 units. Alright, so those are my transformations. Sorry, idiot. Alright, h is 0, k is 8, so my new horizontal asymptote is going to be at +8. Now it's a reflection, which means it's going to be going underneath my horizontal asymptote. This is a growth function, okay, because my base is greater than 1. So this is a growth function. All right, so now my origin is right here. Okay, I have a point 1, 2, 3 units away, so my y-intercept would be at 5, excuse me. If I plug in 0 here, I get 0, 2 raised to the 0 is 1, so -3 times 1 is -3 plus 8, 0, 5. So my function looks like this. Alright, so transformations, we got them. Domain, all real numbers, -infinity to infinity. The range is going to go from -infinity to my horizontal asymptote at 8. The asymptote is obviously y equals 8, and the y-intercept is at 0, 5, which we found earlier. Number 4, we're going to look at the graph. And we're going to tell some key features from the graph. So write the equation of the horizontal asymptote. Bam, there it is at x equals 8. What's the domain? All real numbers, or -infinity to infinity. The range is going to go from -infinity to my horizontal asymptote at 8. Now it's important to note that the range is either going to be from your asymptote to infinity or from -infinity to your asymptote, depending on if there's a reflection or not. If there's not a reflection, the graph's going to be above your asymptote, so it's going to start at the asymptote and go to infinity. If there is a reflection, it's going to go from -infinity to your asymptote. All right, what is h? What is k? So in this case, h, we moved over to the left 5 units, and then k is going to be +8. What's the horizontal shift from the parent function? So we went left 5 units. What's the vertical shift? We went up 8 units. Alright, so looking at our 2 examples here, it says state the requested information. So we have 5, 2x plus 2 minus 10. So we know that h is +2, k is -10. We know that this is a growth function because my base is 2. The transformations, we had a vertical stretch by 5. We went left, this is a -2. We went left 2 units and went down 10. So the domain is still going to be all real numbers. Now the range, again, there was no reflections, so the graph is going to be above your horizontal asymptote. So we know our horizontal asymptote's right here at negative 10. So the graph is going to go from negative and 10 to infinity. Horizontal asymptote is going to be at y equals negative 10. The intercept, we're going to plug in 0 here, so we get 2 squared, which is 4, times 5, which is 20. 20 minus 10 is 10, so 0, 10. Moving on to number 2. Number 2, I can see I have a reflection here, so that's going to change my range. So if I have a reflection, now the graph is going to be below the asymptote, like this right here. So my range is going to go from negative infinity to my asymptote. What's my asymptote? My asymptote's right here at 6, y equals 6. So the range is going to go from negative infinity to 6. We know we went up 6 units. We went right 2 units. And then we had we only had one transformation here. We reflected across horizontal asymptote. H in this case is a positive 2, k is a positive 6. We know it's a decay function because my base is less than 1. And the domain is still going to be all real numbers, or from negative infinity to infinity. Y-intercept, if I plug in 0 here, I get 1/2 raised to the negative 2, okay, which would be 1/2. Take the reciprocal of that, okay, it's going to be 4. So I've got 4 times negative 1 is negative 4, plus 6 is 10. No, 2, 2. So 0, 2. All right, 2 more. Looking at number 3, same kind of deal. Okay, we can see that my A is 8. My A is 8, so we had a vertical stretch by 8. We know that we went right 2 units and went down 7. So in this case, H is 2, K is negative 7. We know it's a growth function because my base is greater than 2. Domain's still going to be negative infinity to infinity. Now, there was no reflection, so my range is going to go from the asymptote, which is at negative 7, to infinity. So negative 7 to infinity. The graph's going to be above the horizontal asymptote. The y-intercept, if I plug in 0 here, I get 2 raised to the negative 2, which is going to be 1 over 4. So 8 times 1 over 4, 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 minus 7 is negative 5. So 0, negative 5. All right, number 4, we have our natural exponential function, e raised to the x minus 9. So I have one transformation here. I went down 9. So this is a growth function because, again, e is about 2.17. So I've got h of 0. I've got k of negative 9. We know my asymptotes at y equals negative 9. My intercept, if I plug in 0 here, anything raised to 0 is 1. So 1 minus 9 is negative 8. Okay, again, we know there was no reflection, so my range is going to start at my asymptote, which is negative 9, and it's going to go to infinity. Domain's still going to be all real numbers. Number 5, 6, and 7, we want to identify if it's growth or decay. Again, all that's based on the base. No pun intended. All that's based on the base. So I've got a base of less than 1, 0.75, less than 1, so this would be a decay function. My base is greater than 1, 5/3, so that's a growth function. And again, my base is greater than 1, so that's a growth